Last time on Total Party Guild.
All right, so as you move backwards, this saw blade comes over towards you, and you like duck and roll, and the blade slashes over your head, and you hear it skip off the wall beside it, and then you jump up and you inspire Marin by...
I'm just gonna be like, you got this, man.
Okay. Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
And as you say that, you see that this magic that comes from your voice begins to wrap around Marin. Welcome, adventurers, to Total Party Guild, your weekly retro wave-inspired D&D live play podcast. Tonight, we'll be joined by...
Vanessa Otero playing Jewel Von Onyx, human bard.
Talon Rowe playing Marin, the Drow monk.
Jeremy Blackheart playing Graham O'Rai, a half-elf hexadon.
And Justin Lamb playing Stenel Bjornsson, the halfling barbarian.
And I'm Sean Rowe, and I will be your DM for this story arc. Last time on Total Party Guild, our party made their way into the sawmill to discover several villagers and hobgoblins with strange gray junk growing on their back of their necks. The party went inside the sawmill and discovered a massive war machine that had huge saw blades and flyers shooting from a nozzle that attacked the party. After a long combat, they were able to finally be victorious. But they had to quickly retreat from the sawmill as it was lit on fire and then exploded in a giant ball of green flame. Now, as we approach our adventurers, they stand outside the burning sawmill, tinged with green fire, surrounded by several villagers and hobgoblins that are just standing there, mute and numb, staring off into the forest in the beginning to brighten daylight. Adventurers, what do you wish to do?
Bitch about my wounds.
How you doing over there, Marin?
I'm hurting.
And I did what I could for
That
you.
abomination trounced me. Twice.
Yeah, as I'm like dusting off like ash and cinders from being burnt because you were hiding behind me.
Hiding behind a halfling. Yeah, that was a smart idea.
I'll pull out a healing potion and give it to you.
Well,
Give it to you.
are we sure that we're not done here? Like, can I just
No.
like collapse on the ground and fall asleep for a little bit? Or no, I'm sorry, meditate. I meditate.
I'm not sure. Just kind of judging, we didn't get our hands on the druid. We did kill the commander and the general.
After I didn't see the bird, was there still banging on the inside?
Yes, there was still banging on the inside. The commander was still trapped inside the machine before it exploded.
Okay, I just wanted to verify.
Yep, no worries.
Can we verify that in game by like investigating the ruins? Is the fire still going?
The fire is still blazing and very, very hot. You had to retreat a good distance away from it. And judging by the flames, it's going to be a while before it gets put out.
Then we're not going to know any of this.
Could we take a short rest and examine the people that we got out of the sawmill, because they all had the gray stuff on them, and maybe we could experiment with some of the hobgoblins of trying to take it off to perfect it before we get it off of the human people.
Yeah.
The villagers, I guess, not human people.
Right. So the villagers that you see, there is one or two humans, but there is also like a half elf and a dwarf amongst the mix. So it's a
Right.
nice cosmopolitan group of villagers that you rescued. Amongst the villagers that you rescued, there is an older male human, and he is dressed a little bit nicer than the rest of the group, but not by much. And you also see a older female half elf, and she's also dressed a little bit nicer than the rest of the villagers. But they're all just standing there with the gray fungus growing on the back of their neck. If you guys want to go ahead and take a short rest, that would be okay. And as long as you're not doing anything overly taxing, just like taking a look at their neck and stuff like that, it would both qualify for a short rest. And I can also have you guys do a group medicine check if you'd like to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I have 0 in medicine. I can't help anybody, but
So I'm going to do a group medicine check. So basically everyone go ahead and roll me a medicine. And then if you as a group succeed multiple times versus the DC, then you'll gain knowledge from what's going on.
I failed.
9.
4.
15.
18.
All right. So I heard a 9 and a 4 and a 15 and an 18. All right. So as you guys are spending some time to go ahead and rest a little bit and take a look at the back of these guys' necks, you are playing around with one of the hobgoblins' necks, and by peeling back a little bit and scraping away, you see that these tendrils here, they're not like the ones that were on the dead hobgoblins you found before. When you started peeling those ones back, the growth that was like piercing their neck was very, very short. It only had gone, maybe half an inch into the neck. And then when you're able to peel it off easily, this time, as you're beginning to pull on it, the cord is much longer. And as you're peeling it, you can see that the hobgoblin begins to grimace in pain. He doesn't react, but except for the grimace and pain, like he doesn't try to stop you or push away or anything like that. But he definitely can feel it. And after you pulled just a little bit past that, like half an inch, you see that the tendrils continue growing inside the back of the neck.
Grim.
I think we're going to need higher level of magic to get these off of them without destroying their brains.
Yeah, but who's available to do that out here?
Not me.
If I had lay on hands left, I could get 3 of them, I think, but I do not have.
Does lay on hands work on those guys?
If you use 5 points, it cures diseases and stuff.
There's not a lot else we can try. That's just us. That doesn't take a temple or something crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we could leave the hobgoblins or bring them back to the town and take the villagers on. And after we've taken a long rest to recover your lay on hands, we could try that, but it would give another, full day of them being like this.
Mm-hmm. So you can expend 5 points of lay on hands to cure the target of 1 disease or neutralize 1 poison affecting it.
Wait, neutralize 1 what? You kind of faded out there.
Neutralize 1 poison or 1 disease, and then you can cure multiple by expending more.
Okay, and this also counted as a short rest. So anyone who's injured can spend hit dice to heal up your characters if you'd like to do that.
Okay.
All right, so we come back from the short rest, and the party is still hurting and bruised and injured, not feeling the best, except for Stenel, who feels great. And after hanging out for that hour or so, the sky is lightening. The fire is still blazing. It's still extremely hot. But you can see that it'll be maybe about a half hour, and the sun should start peeking over the horizon. With the success of the party, you're kind of thinking that maybe the lay on hands will affect the people here, but it wasn't enough successes to guarantee one way or the other.
I want to make sure all their hands are tied nicely.
Okay. You take the rope out of your guys' backpacks, and after a little bit, their hands are tied. And I'm imagining like one of those prisoner trains that we've seen on, where their hands are tied, then the rope just strings them up together.
Yep.
The two goblins that were out front are both handcuffed.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Did we uncuff them from the burning building? Because we wouldn't have left them there to
Right.
burn. We would have taken them with us.
Right.
Yeah. No,
But
there was
they still
that.
have handcuffs.
Yeah, there was that time you
Yeah.
guys uncuffed them from the building, but then replaced them around the wrist, and drug them away from the building. So none of them have still responded. They're like zombies walking.
No, we definitely talked about like getting innocents out of there while stuff was catching fire.
It's debatable whether these guys are innocent, but
I was about to say that's a relative term.
helpless at least.
Yeah, there's no honor in that.
Potato.
So I guess let's string these victims along and go back to town, right? Is that what we were
would
gonna do?
rather do one more poke around just to see what's around the building.
Okay. Also, we sent the surviving villagers, the prisoners, to Jacoby's house instead of staying in the village where the half-orcs were.
Hobgoblin.
I'm sorry, the hobgoblins were. That's just something to think of. I'll help Graham look around.
All right. Graham, go ahead and roll an investigation check at advantage.
I get -1 to intelligence.
I have a +1 to intelligence.
With advantage, I rolled a 1.
Oh.
What?
I rolled 2 2s.
No. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
What are the odds?
That's impressive.
Nobody tell me the odds.
I am extremely impressed at how little you saw as you poke around for an hour around the sawmill. You find a lot of logs. You see that there's like an outhouse and several other adjoining buildings to the sawmill. The purposes of them you can easily determine in how they would be used to process the logs. And then there's actually a trail that leads from behind the sawmill to the river. So it looks like the Tematone villagers would drag the logs and then push them in the river to have it ride down the river towards where the logs need to go to continue their processing. Outside of that, nothing really sticks out. The only thing that would be tactically from your viewpoint is that they didn't spend time fortifying the sawmill. They didn't build a fence around the sawmill, which is, you'd have to travel up a steep hill, and really there's only one main road to get to it. But still, it's from your mind, it's kind of strange.
I think they might have been too busy on their war machine.
Is this us saving the sawmill?
Well,
I don't know if this counts as saving the sawmill.
we saved people, sort of.
The contract you guys actually signed up for was saving the village. So the sawmill was no longer on the table.
And now the village has a really cool fence around it.
And one of the
So-
houses was on fire when we left.
But there were hobgoblins trying to put it out, maybe.
Well, for a couple minutes.
Before they started killing each other.
Yeah.
This one doesn't feel like our fault though. Like that guy built a thing that blew fire everywhere.
Yeah.
That's not on us.
Yeah.
What were we supposed to do? Coax it outside? Here, war machine, war machine.
Is he being serious?
That was sarcasm.
Oh, okay.
I didn't actually think we should do any of that. It was more like, hey, how are we supposed to know?
Oh, you.
I suck at this.
All right, so I guess we should just head down to the village with our fungus buddies.
I guess so.
Yeah.
They're not very fun guys.
And hope nobody jumps out of the woods and tries to kill us.
Well, if they do, I'll bite them in the ankles.
Oh, I believe it.
Get them out of here.
So you guys begin to make your way back towards the village, leading the villagers. It does take a little bit of time, and they are not moving very, very fast. So you do have to continuously tug and pull, but they do remain balanced and will move around like rocks and stuff that are on the path on the way back to the village. As you approach the village, you can see the sun beginning to poke over the top of the mountains off in the way, or at least over the top of the forest, and the sun dapples the ground. It seems to be a beautiful morning, and you can see that the house that was on fire has been completely put out. As you approach, the gate that opened up to lead to the sawmill is open, and there is 2 hobgoblins posted on either side. As you approach,
Are they acting aggressively?
No, as you approach, one of them waves at you, and you can see that he's standing in a manner as to keep his hands away from his weapons.
Okay. Kind of push the 2. It was just 2 hobgoblins that were with us, right?
You had the 2 in the handcuffs, but you actually rescued 4 hobgoblins from the entire sawmill.
Okay. So I will take my manacles back from those 2, and we could just probably untie the other 2 and push them towards the guards, maybe?
Yeah.
Does that sound
Yeah,
right?
and I say, Marin, can you tell them their commander is dead and about the weird stuff on the back of their neck?
Oh, yeah, sure. How do I put this? So Commander Yarrick is dead. But the sawmill is completely destroyed. But we did recover some hobgoblins from the sawmill, as you can see, and they are infected with the fungus that was also affecting the scout party we ran into earlier. So, I believe our paladin intends to try to heal them.
Oh,
But
he intends on healing the villagers.
I can only do 3 even if it works.
oh, okay. Well, never mind. But anyways, I would for now stay away from the village and let these people get back to their homes. They need to rebuild their sawmill.
The hobgoblin you're speaking to listens to the entire conversation that you're saying. What were you speaking to him in?
Draconic.
Okay. Yep. So he's listening to you, and he's nodding his head a couple times as you're saying that, and then in common he says, "I do not speak that language you said."
You could have told me.
Let you get pretty far in.
I did not want to interrupt someone of such prestige, and he bows to you.
Prestige.
What's happening?
Well, if you say so. And then I tell him again. So, in common.
Why don't we just talk to Agricool?
He nods his head and says, "Thank you so much for bringing back some of our people. The rest of the hobgoblins left at first light. We did not do anything else to the rest of the villages. We grabbed our equipment and left. We also did not go into Father Amris's room. We felt it would be best if we left it alone. Did you find him?"
The druid?
Yes, that is what. Yes, druid.
Presumably, but we don't exactly know what happened. Like that was kind of a chaotic battle where he might have died in the sawmill, he might not have. We're not sure.
Well, he was definitely in that thing, and we definitely set it on fire. So I think we've seen the last of that. I think it's safe to say we've seen the last of that guy. Also, he looked really old, so if we didn't kill him, time's not that far behind us.
Dude, he's a druid.
What does that mean?
He'll just up and turn into a tree when he's bored, like, and he'll just last forever. I don't know.
Fuck. Is that a thing, guys? Is that a thing? Marin's
That's what I've
pulling my
heard.
chain.
I've heard the same thing.
Well, salt my sandwich. That's
So
crazy.
Where is his room in the village then?
So he points at a house, and it's nearby the one that was on fire, all the way in the back of the village. There's a small like garden behind it, and then he bows again to you guys, and the Steel Fang clan owes you a debt of gratitude. If you require us or need anything, know that we will repay it. And then you can see that he starts gathering together the hobgoblins that you brought in.
Can I run over and ask him a question?
Sure.
In common.
Sure.
That's pretty much all I know. So why the Steel Fang clan? Why are you guys called that?
Every clan chooses something that evokes power in combat, and that is the one that we decided to have. It has been an honor and on our banners for 1,000 years.
I really think that
Wow.
instead of owing us a favor, you guys should work on rebuilding the damage that you've done here.
If that is what you wish us to do to repay your debt, I will bring that to Agricole.
And
Yes.
definitely rebuild the sawmill.
Even though it was more an us thing than a them thing, but
Well, it started with the sawmill though,
Right.
and this is the village's main source of trade, I imagine,
yeah,
is lumber.
yeah. Okay.
What an ace idea. I'm behind that.
The hobgoblin looks like that's a very strange request to ask of a militarized group of individuals, but bows anyways, and I will bring that to the commander.
You guys just wasted good backup.
I think that it will get us a lot of goodwill with the guild when we go back and say we destroyed the sawmill, but it's being fixed. Don't worry about it.
And I let them know that they have that weird fungus on the back.
Right.
Yeah, I think Marin said that as well, but he definitely they take note of it and the way that they're acting, and they're taking them away from you guys and beginning to head south out of the village, but they're definitely acting as if these guys might be like carriers of the plague, right? Like keeping a 6-foot social distance.
That's smart. That's smart. They should probably also be covering their mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see them tying bandanas over the affected people and themselves.
Let's head to the druid's quarters.
You guys make your way into the house. Who is entering first?
Oh,
Me.
Stennel.
Okay.
All right. Stennel, you open the door, and from the beginning dappled light as you see the sunshine begin to peek its way in, opening the front door opens into a smaller house, and it's like all one room. You can see that there's a fireplace off in the distance. There's a kitchen table in the center of the room. There's a small rocking chair off to the side. There's several shelves lining the walls. This was definitely somebody else's house before he took it over, and you can see that he did not maintain it very well. There is dishes and plates and jars and just covered in gunk. There's flies floating around the top of the food that is rotting on the top of the table.
Ugh, slob.
Something was cooked in a vat over a fire in the back, and you can see that it's like had bubbled over and was just like stuck to the side. Now this fungus is growing along the outside of it. And as the light begins to reflect inside, you can see that it's really dusty in here, and the dust particles just floating through the air.
All right. I don't see anything super exciting. Can I start poking around?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check and a Constitution save.
Oh, okay. This will be my investigation. Oh, thank goodness, because that's a -1. 18. What a roll.
That's fantastic.
And my Constitution with the +5 comes to 6.
Oh, no.
So I'm not enjoying this at all.
Awesome. So you walk inside this hut, and it's, like I said, it's thick with dust and clouds, and you begin poking around. And as you're poking around, like more dust is beginning to fill the air. What's the rest of the party doing?
Watching.
Yeah, I was gonna step in, but like I was trying to direct Stenel, like to find journals or something.
Can I open the windows from the outside?
Yeah, you can do that. And what are you doing, Jewel?
I was following Marin.
Okay, so both of you guys are entering the house and also directing Stenel.
What?
I don't think that I was behind Marin, and I don't think Marin had entered. I think he was following but hadn't. I don't know.
All right,
I don't
Marin,
know.
did you go inside the house to help out Stenel, just for clarification's sake?
Just like right within the doorway, so that I could direct him, like to find journals and stuff.
Okay. So without actively going inside and looking around, just directing him from the doorway, he will not gain advantage on the roll. You'd have to go inside to help him out with that. So I just want to be clear on what your actual activity is going to do. If you just stand at the doorway and like, look over there. No, over there. It won't help him at all.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'll go inside and
Okay.
help him out.
So Stenel, go ahead and roll me another d20 for your investigation check, so you'll gain advantage on that roll. And then Marin, go ahead and roll me a Constitution save as well.
Okay.
Well, it still stands at an 18.
Okie dokie.
I got a 14.
And a 14. All right. So as you guys are beginning to search and you see that this cloud of dust is really beginning to kick up inside the room, the windows are being opened up from Graham on the outside, and you can feel this like fresh breeze begin to flow inside. And as it does, Stenel, you notice that there's like a little like movement off in the corner. And when you go and look down to see, like you see something like reflect off the early morning light on something on the floor, and you kind of like crawl down and get closer to it and notice that it's actually not reflecting on the floor, it's reflecting through a knot hole in the floor. So there's something underneath the floorboard that reflected the light just a little bit, just a glint.
That's awesome. So can I feel around for like a loose board?
Yeah. As you begin to poke at it, you feel that
Wait.
that the
What are you
floorboard
doing?
is loose. Yeah.
Well, there's a.
What if it's trapped?
I feel like I'm onto something, but I did such a great job looking. See, I looked and I found stuff.
You did very well, but what if he has that booby trapped?
What's a booby trap? Oh, I know what a booby trap is. I'll feel around for a loose board carefully.
Jesus.
I will be cautious and slow.
All right. Roll me a wisdom save.
You roll me a wisdom save. Ooh.
I got a 10. What'd you get?
12. I win.
Damn it. You carefully poke around the outside of the wooden floorboards, and you can see where it's loose as you're beginning to poke on it and push. And you lift up the floorboard a little bit, and you're kind of like are checking to see if there's a trap, and you realize there's no trap.
But I don't know that there's no trap. There's just no trap that I've felt yet. So I'm still going to be real slow. And I'm going to take the board. And I've already lifted it up. And I'm just kind of looking at it like it's a bomb. And I'm just going to like slowly move the board. And it's just a piece of wood, but I'm slow. And then I'm going to set it down so careful. So careful.
And as you slowly move it slowly out of the way, you notice that there is a small leather-bound journal inside the a little cubby, and the glint was just reflecting off the brass cover on the outside, where you can see it was highly scuffed and kind of like shining from just overuse.
Cool. Where's the money? Do I see any money? Is it just a journal?
Poking your head around.
I just shove my head down there.
Actually,
at the bottom.
the journal was what I was looking for. So
There is a small leather sack that is in the corner of this tiny little cubby.
I just like take the journal and just slide it across the floor to Marin.
I'm
And then I
also
grab
going
the
to step
sack of
into the
money.
room, and I'm going to be like, druids never have any money.
I pull up the sack and I'm like, how? What?
As you grab the sack, it chinkles like bits of glass slamming into each other.
I don't grab it that hard,
Well, I mean, like
but I'll grab it.
like when you put bottles of wine in a sack and then lift it up, how they all clink together like that. Yeah, it's like that as you're lifting it up. Go ahead and Jewel, roll me a Constitution save as you make your way in. Marin, you pick up the diary.
yeah,
Ooh, that is a 24. Also, we all have masks over our faces.
Yep,
or we did.
you do.
We probably took them off when we were doing our short
that was
rest.
a long time ago.
How's that fresh air coming in?
It's starting to clear out the room.
Bit of a breeze.
uh,
All right. Is this the only room in the little house thing? Are there more places I can check?
Yeah.
No, this is the only room inside here. So as you pick it up, you hear the clinking of the bottles on the inside.
What'd
And
you
feel
find?
it's kind of heavy.
I don't know yet. I'll very slowly open it.
Puff of
I love that caution
smoke.
isn't I'm going to look for anything. It's I'm just going to be real slow about it.
No, the slower you are, the safer you are. It's fact.
Yeah, you guys are watching Stenel as he slowly opens the bag. Inside there's two red glass bottles and a small emerald green gem that clink together inside with the small bottles.
Oh, there's a shiny rock and a couple of red bottles. I don't think it's alcohol though. Might be.
Potions
I have a
sometime.
couple. Yeah, I have a couple healing potions. Would I recognize these as healing potions?
All right, so in D&D, if you take just a tiny swig of the potion, you will be able to figure out what it is. So if
Unless
you
it's
just
a trap.
Yeah, unless it's a trapped potion, correct. Then the trapped potion will be like a different type of potion, but without identifying it. So if you're not identifying the potion, then you can just take a quick swig and you'll understand what it is.
Would Stenel know that? Probably.
Yeah, you guys are adventurers. You guys have been on a couple of adventures already. You
Spent some time on ships.
Yeah, you've done that. You've been a part of the guild. There's like training for what to do if you go into a dungeon. I'm imagining.
But there's nothing else in the room to look at?
There's a fireplace with old food inside of it.
Meh. So I'll take the bag and the bottles outside.
yeah, I'm going outside.
There's okay.
And just get some fresh air.
Hey, you guys.
Am I coughing at all?
Dust,
okay.
dust off
There's just
my
really-
robes.
Really thick dust. Yeah.
I whatever. It's good. So there's like a shiny green gem thing, which is nice, but I'll just like toss that to Jewel. I feel like she appreciates shiny stuff. And then I'll try taking a swig of one of these bottles and see if it's whiskey.
It is not whiskey, although it does have a bit of an alcoholic like burn to your throat, and the flavor is like medicinal. It's a potion of greater healing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's nice.
I'm gonna
Should-
hold the gem up to like the sun and kind of just do like an examination of it.
It's
See if I
extremely
can price that baby out.
pretty, very sparkly. It'll probably sell for a pretty penny.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to get money for this when we get back to town. Split it up.
Cool.
That's a good idea. And then we can turn that money into booze.
Or other.
So I plan on reading this journal on our way back to the guild.
Okay, so you stepped outside into the light. Did you open the clasp on the journal?
Well, that could be trapped too. Does anybody have like a disabled trap ability?
Oh, I have thieves' tools.
I think I'm proficient in thieves' tools. Hold up. I am proficient in thieves' tools.
It's a very simple brass clasp. It doesn't have a lock or anything on the
Oh,
outside.
okay.
I'm gonna take a sip of the second potion.
So as you take the second potion out of the bag, it is in a completely black vial. And as you pop the stopper out the top, white light shines from the top. It's almost like bright enough to be a flashlight that shoots out the top of the potion container. And you slosh it around. You can feel that there's liquid inside. And you bring it to your lips. You take a little bit of a sip. As you pull it away from your lips, everyone can see that on Stenel's lips now, there's like this golden light that's almost like lipstick that's just glowing on his mouth.
You look so lovely, Stenel.
Neon Kool-Aid mustache.
Yeah, and like a little bit of it's dribbling down the bit of his chin. So that's all like glowing on his
Give me
face.
some credit.
But it is a potion of resistance against radiant damage.
Huh.
As he says, "Ha!" you can see that the all the way to the back of his throat, it's all lit up.
Joel, play something on your lyre. Play something that's like revenant and angelic, and I'll just like slowly open my mouth and tilt my head back and lift my arms up.
Okay, I'll just play some scales.
As he's hitting the high notes, the glow inside his mouth fades.
Ah. There's your album cover.
A halfling with a mouthful of glowing potion.
Oh, these are the precious moments, guys.
You'll have to get to Milo to paint it.
Absolutely.
Oh shit. That'd be so great.
So, how many villagers did we bring back with us?
5.
5. Okay. Well, let me take a look at this journal.
Sure.
Did Graham need a long rest to
Yes.
get his lay on hands back? Well, if you
And sorry, go ahead.
if you want to like crash in one of these houses, Marin can start looking through the journal and see if there's some kind of antidote or some clue as to what this is and how to remove it, just in case, he like the druid needed to.
It's only been like 6 hours since we woke up from our last, if that, from our last long rest. Not to rules lawyer, but I don't think we'll be able to do a long rest for the rest of the day.
Oh,
Yeah, because you can only do
right.
one a
Yeah,
day.
you guys took a long rest and then got up early in the morning to go off on this adventure. So you would technically you wouldn't gain the benefits from sleeping now until this evening time. So technically it won't be functional until tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
okay. So what do we do in the meantime? Like, I can read the journal, but I don't know what everybody else is doing.
Guys, montage.
Montage.
Get
some 80s music.
Graham's just going to start
Um,
cleaning up the village.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining. You see Graham, and he's like picking up stuff, and then Jewel is like wiping off tables, and Marin is picking up like glasses and then karate chopping them onto shelves, and Stenel is headbutting bookcases back up into position.
Jules finding like nice textiles and just like hanging them decoratively in a very classic ways to like spruce up the joints.
Stenel's on a roof and just like throws a rope to someone and then nods meaningfully. Although there's nothing to fix on the roof, and there's no reason to be up there.
So as you guys are helping out and cleaning up the village, Marin, you crack open the journal, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So you open the journal, and as you pop the clasp and open the inside, it's more like a valise. Like the leather binding was just wrapped around a bunch of loose leaf sheets, and those sheets are held together by a twine. And so you open that up and immediately look at a bunch of dwarven ruins on the sheets there. Do you know dwarven?
I do not. God damn it.
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, Jewel, I need your help.
I'm hanging up some beautiful like window treatments, and I'm like, oh, okay. What's up?
Can you read this?
Looks like it's dwarven.
Yeah, but can you actually understand? Like,
Yeah, I speak dwarven. I hung out with some dwarves and learned that. I was in Bosk for a while, and when you're in Bosk, you have to speak dwarven, because if you don't speak dwarven, they basically just like pat you on the head and send you on shitty errands because they pretend like they don't speak common, but they all speak common.
That's pretty great.
all right. Well, I need you to tell me what this journal says.
Sure. And I will read it to Marin.
All right. So you look at the dwarven script, and as you are starting to translate it into common, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, it's dwarven ruins, and the sentence structure is built appropriately, but it reads like nothing that you've ever tried to read before. It's like, verily walk 7 paces, then turn left mountainside fire foe river stream.
This is like a code. This is like
All right.
encoded.
Well, we'll take it back to the guild, but I was really hoping for an antidote in there.
As you're flipping through the pages, though, you come across several drawings. It looks like a technical drawing, gears and sprockets. You flip a handful more pages inside, and you can see an entire arm, like with blown out with little gears and markings and small lines and drawings and tiny dwarven script next to it. And it doesn't take you very long to realize that this is the technical drawing of the machine that you just faced.
Huh.
Hmm.
And all the words around this are also just like gibberish.
Yeah, it's Dwarven script you don't understand. The only thing that actually makes sense to you is on the corner of many of the technical drawings is a Dwarven name rune that translates into Durgan the Fire Forged.
Durgan. Fireforged. Huh. What do you think that means? You think that's the name of the machine that we fought?
I won't hazard a guess.
Are there any pictures of what spores that could lead to any kind of research on what's going on with the growths on the backs of the neck?
Flipping through the pages, no, it just, you can see each of the parts of the machine. You can see drawings of like what is probably on the inside, like a control panel of some sorts, a chair, the mechanisms that the legs would be attached to, strange pulleys and levers, with is probably the descriptions of how they work. Although again, not anything that you understand by reading through it.
Huh. It just looks like it's all the Dwarven is just gibberish, but this looks like a pretty detailed diagram of that machine we fought.
Oh, well, we'll take it back to the guild.
Yeah, maybe they can make
In the
something of it.
meantime, what do we do with the villagers?
Just keep them locked up until we can get that lay on hands on them.
Because, yeah,
Three of
I
them.
believe the fancier dressed ones, that they told us to look for the mayor,
Yeah.
and that might be him and maybe his wife.
Yeah. They said his family. So hopefully it was just his wife. We didn't rescue any kids, right?
No, there was no kids inside the sawmill.
Okay. All right.
So time passes. You guys are taking care of the village as much as possible. I'm assuming
Yeah,
you guys are sleeping here
Gonna
tonight.
wait for the other villagers to come back.
Yeah. Might as well.
Okay. So it's deep into the evening time. You guys make yourselves at home, have some dinner made. Mostly it's just vegetables, and that's primarily what they have available right now is just vegetables. So you guys make a vegetable stew and have yourselves a good evening. And as the evening comes to a close and the party begins to lay down to rest their weary heads and relax from the combat that they had faced the night before, we pause here and reflect. Will the party be able to make it back to the guild? And if so, what will the guild have to say about this party's adventures in Tematone Village? Find out next time on Total Party Guild. And remember, party on!
Party on!
So while we're here and we're finishing up this episode, I would like go ahead and go around the room real quick and get another quick conversation piece. Starting with Talon, is there anything that you'd like to talk about?
Well, since all of us are in quarantine right now, or, sheltering at home, a lot of people have been getting into baking or cooking, and I would just like to plug a couple of companies that I've been enjoying the services of. So, they are both local to Washington State, but they ship anywhere. And the first is the Oil and Vinegar Cellar in Leavenworth, Washington, and they sell specialty olive oils and balsamic vinegars. And you can find them at oilandvinegarcellar.com. And the other one would be Market Spice if you're looking for interesting and rare spices. They're normally based in Pike Place in Seattle, but of course, Pike Place is shut down, but they're still doing online orders. So you can find them at marketspice.com. And just take your cooking up a notch.
Neat. I'll throw that in the show notes so we can direct everybody to them.
And Justin, is there anything that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I mean, the company I've recently dealt with needs absolutely no introduction, but my figure from Hero Forge, I had some issues getting it shipped. It kind of got bounced back to manufacture, and they emailed me, I emailed them, and they got it straightened out right away. So I got my Stenel figure in, but I really appreciate that they went the extra mile to make sure that it actually got to me. So I can give them a little shout out, but they're already kind of the big name in the business, I think.
And they're not even paying us.
No, I know. That's why
we
I was
just like their customer service.
yeah, that's just, they did the right thing. So
Yeah, I have 2 Hero Forge. I love them. So, yep, get them up too.
Jeremy, would you like to say
While
anything?
we're
Or Vanessa?
plugging everybody, sorry. I was going to plug us. If anybody else has anything to plug,
Nope.
I was just going to move
Nope,
into.
done. You go ahead.
Okay. So we, Jeremy and I have been streaming Terraria the last week and plan to keep moving forward while we do that on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/TotalPartyGuild. We've also, we love receiving memes and dice picks. So hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram. Watch us on Twitch. Interact with us. We like it. We're lonely. We're isolated.
And I just want to add on to that to check out totalpartyguild.com, where you can meet the cast and learn about the players and characters and a little bit about the world we're playing in of Arosa.
And if you'd like to ask any questions of the GMs or maybe hear some interesting tidbits from the players of this games, go ahead and email us too at
totalpartyguild@gmail.com.
totalpartyguild@gmail.com. And that is going to wrap
And
up
rate and
our
review us.
show for today. So with that said, remember everyone, a guild of many defeats more monsters. And party on.
Party on.
Party on.
party on.